and welcome to my kitchen. No? Okay. I am making some nummies today, and every time I make them and I post it on Facebook, people always usually ask me, where's the recipe? How do you make it? Make some for me. So I'm going to give you the recipe, I'm going to show you how to make it, but I'll be damned if I'm giving any to you. Just saying. We are making diabetes bars! Or at least that's what I like to call them. They are disgustingly delicious, insanely, incredibly sweet. I don't really know. Brownie-like cookie sort of kind of things. I don't know. That's why I call them diabetes bars, because it kind of just works for what they are. I'm not actually doing a video where I'm recording this because, like, seriously, ain't nobody got time for that. So I'm just gonna, I took pictures as I went along, and I will describe the pictures for you. So I feel that will get the point across. And I'm going to drink my coffee as I go along. Now I got all my little pictures spread out on this side of the kitchen. This side of the kitchen looks glorious. See, it's all wonderfully clean. All wonderfully clean. That side, where the camera is, and technically where you are, looks like the apocalypse hit it, because I basically just moved everything from here over to there, because I don't really feel like doing the dishes right now. And also, just to set the tone for the video, I would just like to mention, I have no pants on. Why do you need to know that? You don't. But now it just makes you wonder. It's Sunday and I'm at home by myself and I don't feel like wearing pants, so no, I didn't cook with no pants on, just in case you're wondering. I went and changed. I didn't change into no, oh, whatever, who cares? Anyway, not important. So anyway, I've got my pictures that are going to be flashing past your screen shortly, all down here. So if you see me keep looking down there, that's me sort of referencing my notes. It's either that or I sit here flipping through like this. Which actually you probably won't even see most of me anyway. I don't want to have to edit and cut this video, so I will try. I will try to stop being Italian. I will try to just get through it in one take. Okay, so what you're going to need to start with this recipe is a basic cake mix, or not a cake mix, sorry, a brownie mix. So it can be anything you want. Here I'm using Duncan Hines. You're going to need 12. This is how many diabetes bars we're making. So you're gonna need 12 peppermint patties. You can use Reese peanut butter cups if you want. You can use caramel cups. You can basically use anything along those sort of lines to create these diabetes bars. And I'm sorry to anybody that has diabetes. I'm sure it's awful and you think I'm a horrible person. And you're right, I am. But yeah, anyway, it's just a joke. At the same time, it's not, because you will seriously get diabetes. And then you need cookie dough, again, whatever cookie dough you want. Just don't be all using like raisin oatmeal or oatmeal raisin or something disgusting like that. It's got to be like chocolate chip, chocolate chunk, whatever. And then you need candy melts. So you get all that stuff together. The candy melts, surprisingly enough, are like the most expensive part. So technically, if you want to leave the candy melts off, you can. It's completely up to you. I just realized I'm not staring at the camera. I'm staring at the back of my iPhone. Whatever. Okay, anyway, as I was saying, and then you're gonna get a pan. In my case, I'm using a bar pan is what it's called, so it just is already separated. You can use just a regular cookie sheet, well, not a cookie sheet, but a regular casserole dish, and you can just cut them up afterwards. Just keep in mind when you're placing the peppermint patties or the Reese cups, whatever it is, that you're placing them sort of spaced apart, so when you cut the bars, they cut evenly. Then, to make life easy, in this particular case, if you are using a bar pan, I'm putting parchment paper strips in, and then I'm going to put the ingredients on top of that. That's so when it's cooked, I can just pull them right out, so it just makes my life a lot easier. Okay, so what you do is you take your cookie dough and you separate it into 12 equal amounts. Again, if you're using just one big casserole dish, then just flatten it out across the bottom. You don't need to measure anything out. Me, in my case, I divided it by 12, the weight, because I'm a nerd, and I actually scaled it out so I had the exact amount perfectly in each little cup. So you're going to spread it out evenly on the bottom of your cookie sheet, or your casserole dish, I should say. Stop, no cookie sheet. Don't use a cookie sheet. I keep saying cookie sheet. You want a casserole dish because it needs to be sort of at least something that's 2 inches high. Because chances are you aren't going to have a pretentious pan like this bar thing that I have here. Most people don't have this. Don't even ask me why I had to buy it, but I did. Okay, anyway, so you put your cookie dough in there. You mush it down all nice and even, like you see in this fabulous little picture in front of you. And then after you're done that, you take your York peppermint patties in this case, or your Reese peanut butter cups or whatever you want, and you put one in each of them. Make sure if you're using Reese peanut butter cups though, that you're not using ones that touch, meaning when you put them all together in the pan, they're not like super, super close. You can get these snack size ones that are like a little bit smaller. You probably want to use the ones that are a little bit smaller, not the full size ones that you get in the bars. Wow, I'm talking really fast. I'm talking to myself in my kitchen, but I'm speed talking. Slow it down, slow it down. Anyway, so you put your bars in, your Reese peanut bars or your York peppermint patties. Again, if you're using a casserole dish, just nicely space them out so you can easily cut the bars afterwards. Then you take your brownie mix. You can make your own homemade brownie mix if you want to, but seriously, I mean, I'm all for that usually if you're making just brownies. But if you're doing something like this where, again, it's diabetes bars they're called, like come on. Just go buy a mix for like $2-3 from the store. It makes life so much easier. Mix it up according to the directions on the back. You don't need to do anything special with it. And then you're just gonna scoop it again evenly into either each little pretentious cup like I have in my bars pan, or just pour it evenly over the top of your casserole dish. Make sure that you are not, you don't have any exposed peppermint or exposed Reese peanut butter cups. Again, whichever one you're using. And then I have found, I've made this a couple times, as you can tell. I have found that the cookie dough, by the time the batter cooks, the cookie dough seems to be really, really hard. And the whole idea is you want the whole thing to be sort of chewy. So what I've done this time, and I am going to do again now, is I cook it in a water bath. Now the fancy French term or cooking term is bain-marie, and translation is water bath. So it's just basically, in this case, I am using a cookie sheet. You just pour some hot water in there, boiling water in there when you're preheating your oven, maybe about a ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch, not too high. It's just basically to insulate the cookie dough on the bottom so it doesn't get really, really hot. So you can see the picture of my little bain-marie here, and you can tell the water's hot because my iPhone camera got all foggy when I took the picture. Anyway, so you pop your, what is it? Diabetes bars. Again, I don't really know what the term is for this recipe, but you pop your brownie and your cookie dough into the oven. You cook it at 350, which is generally what most of these cookies and brownie batters cook at anyway. Cook it at 350 for about 25 minutes to 35 minutes. Best way is just to test it. Don't worry about the cookie. The cookie will be cooked once the brownie's cooked. So you just want to stick a toothpick into the brownie. If it comes out clean, then it's good. Don't overcook it because then you're going to get really crunchy brownies, which sometimes are good, but in this case you don't want a crunchy brownie. You want like a chewy brownie. Even if it's a little undercooked, totally fine. Undercooked brownie, nothing wrong with that. And then next, you got to let it cool. So sit it on your counter for whatever, for like ½ hour, 45 minutes. Once it's cooled, then put it in the fridge. You want it in the fridge to get it nice and chilled, so put it in there for at least an hour or two. Again, if you're using a little pretentious brownie container, bar thing, whatever the hell it's called, that I'm using, then you just pull them out. See how easy that was? If you're using regular casserole dish or regular cooking, I can't even think what the term would be. It's not going to be a casserole dish. I'm on the spot, I have no idea. Then you take it out, dump it out, and then just cut them into the 12 squares. So you're trying to make sure that you're evenly getting a York peppermint patty in each one of those. And then you are going to melt your candy melts. Candy melts are not chocolate. Chocolate, once you melt it, unless you, like a normal like chocolate bar, unless you temper it, which is a whole lot of other business that it's just a pain in the butt to do, it won't solidify back into a nice hard shell around your little brownies, which is what we're going to do. Not brownies, sorry, diabetes bars. So make sure you're using candy melts. They are, well, I've eaten them all, otherwise I'd technically show you, but you can see in the picture that they are the little round things. I get mine at the Bulk Barn. You can get them in pretty much any bulk food stores. I don't really think you can get them in normal grocery stores unless they're in the bulk food section. But they melt perfectly. Just melt it over some hot water, or you can put it in the microwave for a couple seconds. Do it like 30 seconds at a time, because otherwise you're going to risk burning them. Guilty! If you are doing it on the stove, then you're just going to put some simmering water in a saucepan and then put a bowl on top. Metal or glass, doesn't matter. Just have it simmering. Put your cookie. Candy melts in there. Then you're going to just stir them until they melt. Once they're melted, then you take your chilled bars and you're going to put your bars into the candy melts. Just toss it around gently. Don't be too nuts with it because ideally you don't want to get crumbs from the bar into the candy melts because then that will transfer onto all your other bars and it'll just look like hell. And then you take them out, put them onto a cooling rack, which yes, I do have a picture. Bring! There it is of the diabetes bars on the cooling rack. And then once they're cooled, I would suggest actually, now that I've done this, this is the first time I've actually done it coated like this. Don't put them on a cooling rack, just put them directly onto parchment paper. Because when you put them on a cooling rack, the chocolate sort of melts down a bit. And then it basically like glues itself onto the cooling rack. So you didn't want to see me while I was trying to pull the buggers off. I think half of them got destroyed because my hands were just mushing them as I was trying to separate them from the cooling rack. So just shake off as much of the candy melts as you can and then put them directly onto a parchment lined paper and they will be perfectly fine. Let them cool at either room temperature or you can put them in the oven. That's the nice thing about candy melts is they will cool at room temperature. Generally chocolate, once you melt it and put it at room temperature, it ain't doing nothing. And then once you're done that, in this case, just because I saw pink candy melts and I was like, woo! And I was all excited and wanted to do something with them, I took the pink ones and melted them over the top, as you can see there. So see, they're completely hard. They're all delicious inside. They're chewy. You can see the pepperminty yumminess. And, oh. Sweet Jebediah. They're called diabetes bars for a reason, let me tell you. They're so good. Anyway, I can make a video for like 20 minutes of me eating all these. But I've seriously had so many so far that I'm probably going to throw up if I even finish this one. But I'll try. Anyway. Totally try them. They're basically a dessert you can't screw up. Like I say, if you undercook it, it doesn't matter. Who doesn't eat raw cookie dough? Who doesn't like chewy brownies? Does not matter. If you mess up on the chocolate coating on top and get crumbs in it, who cares? It's freaking chocolate coating. Doesn't matter. You can't screw them up. They're so freaking easy. They're so delicious. Sweet Jesus, I need some coffee to wash down all that sweetness. Keep calm, carry on. Yeah, so try them, enjoy them. I hope you like my little video. Maybe next time I'll actually record it as I go along, because trust me, it's a lot more entertaining being in the kitchen with me than it is going through a bunch of photographs that I have lined up in front of me. Anyway, thanks!